Smoke a purse so sweet with HighThoughtsTV.
Y'all know what the fuck we doing, man. It's Hot Thoughts TV. Niggas hot in the bitch, man.
I'm smoking a purse so sweet with HighThoughtsTV.
Yeah. So there's some things that, granted, you say you picked up some good culture and things from him. But
right, for him bringing me to Houston.
Right.
So now, by me spending time with my father, by my father marrying, it becomes what they call a blended family.
Yeah.
So now I got a lot of associations in Houston. So he moved from the Southwest side, ended up buying a house in Northwood Manor. So now I got people from the Southwest that I went to birthday parties with, kicked it with. Now I'm over here on the north side. Then he ended up doing real good, man. In that era of gangs and drugs, it was another era going on called computers.
Yeah.
Right? And he ended up getting into computer science back then and ended up working at Hewlett Packard and all these Compaq and stuff like that, the way he ended up buying a home in Humble. So I'm saying being able to see that. My mother was a church-going person, but my father was like a devoted Christian. No TV in the house. Like, he was really trying to get away from the satanic energy that was consuming our culture. So by going to his house, I would say I got more understanding of religion, of being faithful, of being spiritual, so to speak.
Yeah.
Early on. You see what I'm saying?
For
Even
sure.
though I wasn't with it, I got exposed to it. That those things, what I mean by cultured me later in life.
Yeah, and I also want to ask this a little bit, fast forward to like now time, because I see like you very active and you make it a point to show like I'm with my kids I'm picking them up from school, I'm at baseball, you know what I'm saying? So were those early experiences like maybe where you did feel like, okay, he left me for a little bit, did that maybe put something inside you to be like, you know what, when I'm in that position, I want to fill them gaps?
Right. So the thing is that, man, you can't complain about something and not have no solution to it.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the problem. Black people, older black people will tell you how white people destroyed the community. They'll give you the story that white people took the father out of the household. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
They will even tell you when they start doing it, when did they start doing it, and the effects of doing it, right? But though that same man or that same person that's giving you that game or that wisdom is not currently in a household.
Yeah.
Like, how can you know what created the problem and you not be a solution to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, why you not married? Where your kids? So it's one thing to point out where things went wrong. It's another thing to be the solution to that. So it wasn't so much as just my father. It was that, for instance, I wanted a parent that was a business owner. When I look back, like, damn, man, I wish, well, why I'm not one for mine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I making sense?
For sure.
So just want to get past the wishing aspect of it and being able to produce the things you think are solutions.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Does that make sense? So if you feel like you right about something, quit trying to be right. And what's the solution? Yes, they ran the black, but are you in a house? What's the sense of knowing that if you can't do nothing about it, or you not doing nothing about it? Oh, you just want to use the information to educate people, but not help nobody.
Yeah. You know what they say, you can't change the world unless you change yourself.
You can't change the world unless you change yourself. So whenever you hear somebody say that again, just ask them, well, are you in the house? Where your kids? Because we know that's the problem, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just going back another step before we move forward. So you mentioned earlier that you had bumped your head, did a little time in prison.
Right.
So let's talk leading up to that. Like at 17, where's CEO Hockley, Robert Hockley's mindset at that time?
Oh, man, I'm on a one-way trip to prison, a one-way trip to hell, man. You got to understand, in that era, making it to 18 was niggas ain't make it to 18. If you made it to 21, you was OG. Like, just really going through those struggles and those battles, it was worse then than it is now. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of ignorance, but the 90's was way worse. You couldn't go places. There's no cameras. There's no way to kids. Just bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just bodies. So it was, for me, I was just on a one-way trip to prison. I accepted death. I accepted prison. Whichever one came first, I was ready. So wasn't no thought of getting away. It's just part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Do the crime, do the time. If I got a smoky in broad daylight behind an issue we had going on, that's just how you handle it.
Okay, so you go to prison. Prior to prison, had there already been like a couple mishaps, like, oh, I'm in the county, or was it like, boom, I get caught?
Oh no, I started going to jail at 13. I started going to like detention, being arrested, my friends getting murder cases. I told you my brother coming home next month after 30 years. So the law enforcement aspect of my life started at the age of 13, the time I turned a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because it's outside my door.
Right.
I'm not saying it to say I'm tough. I'm saying this what was going on outside my door.
Yeah, and just from being in the mix,
just from being in the mix. My best friend now, he caught a body at 14. Did 14 years, got out when he was 28. Like, this what was going on when we walked outside the door. This wasn't the way we talk about it now. We ain't even call it bodies back then. It was like 187. Like, we using the LA code for murder. Yeah. Do you understand? A smoker nigga ass. Like, it's just as simple as that. But that's what was going on outside the door. Not on the internet, but on the porch.
Yeah. And I feel like that's, like, it's crazy because, like you said, back then, there's no internet, there's no this, there's no that. It ain't really even no OGs yet. But now, fast forward to today, you see shit, damn near history repeating itself, but if not speeding up. Like, at that point in time, with there being no internet or OG, so what was the introduction to young niggas getting guns? Young niggas
No,
getting...
so that's the thing. Because there's no internet or no there are OGs. The OGs are just a generation in front of us.
Right.
So if I'm 17, the OG is 21, 22. Same way like it is now. You may get somebody 29, 30, but this ain't really their era. Yeah, am I making sense? This is not their era, but the thing was this. This is why you get DP or checking in, because there was no internet, and the only way you could really get your stripes is in your neighborhood or on your block. You had somewhat of a structure. Yeah. Because you had to go outside with the people. Now we get on the internet and gather. You had to gather with those people outside on the corner. Yeah. So if you got ran off the corner, or you got this or that, it was known that you was a weenie, as they say today. But back then, they say you a buster or you a mark. But you knew that from being within the community of street niggas.
Yeah. So let's talk another thing that brought everybody outside at that time, like, you know, the Kappa Beach parties and things like that that's going on.
Right.
What's the aesthetic like for you out there? Is it just like, okay, we got a bunch of people coming into town?
No, so I'll tell you this, man. The Kappa Beach started in the early 90's with and again, man, I'm gonna say this on camera, nigga. The Kappa Beach party was the baddest, dopest event ever in the United States. Fuck the freak Nick. Shout out to Atlanta. Fuck the freak Nick. Nigga, the Kappa Beach party is where it went down, man. So it started with the fraternity of Kappas coming down to Galveston to celebrate as colleges and stuff, right? Probably in 90 or 91. I didn't even know nothing about it until probably 95 or 94, right before I went to jail. No, I went to jail in 95, so it was 94. The first time I realized that it was a lot of people, because I got in trouble. I was on juvenile probation. I had to get a job, and I worked at Burger King, which was by the beach. So I went to Burger King one day, and the motherfucker packed. Nothing but niggas in this bitch, packed. Everybody is just packed like a motherfucker. I'm 16, and that's my first time hearing or knowing that it was a weekend where everybody comes down and party and celebrate. Yeah. So that's 94. The next year I go to prison, which is 95. I don't know if I went that year or not. I probably didn't, but I was aware of it. But it hadn't become the Kappa yet.
Right.
It haven't became what we know as the Kappa. It doesn't become the Kappa until Screw started hitting in 96, 97.
Mm.
Yeah, when you hear it on the mixtapes and you hear it, like, and I was in jail. I didn't return back to the Kappa until 03.